Have you ever felt like all you do is work? Well, today I'm going to talk about 7 ways that you can figure out if you're working too much. So, number 1, free time is a foreign concept, and your schedule takes precedence over your loved ones. If you are so scheduled and so about making the money and you don't take any free time, then you're out of balance. It has proven that the more balanced of a life and being able to take breaks and do those things that don't include working actually make you more productive. So you can work 7 days a week, or you can work 4 days a week and be far more productive with those 4 days than the 7 days. Why? Because you're restoring yourself. You don't feel depleted. You have a balanced life. And here's the thing, what matters in life? People, the relationships that are around us. And so if we don't have time to build into that, you're going to be just a rich hermit out there with a big castle and nobody around. That's not what we want to go after, right? We want just happiness in every area of our life. So remember to make time for free time. Number 2, when all you talk about is your work, if you have no other aspirations besides your career goals, chances are you're working too much. And you need a little bit more balance. There needs to be goals in your personal life, in your health, and taking vacations and doing other things that are outside of the work realm. And I know that this can be a challenge. Believe me, I know. I love to work. I probably enjoy working more than I enjoy absolutely anything else. Maybe sitting on the beach with an ice cold drink might be close second. But the reality is that if we don't have any other aspirations in our life and it's just about achieving stuff, we're going to not only be dull and boring individuals, but we're going to get burnt out. And you're not going to be able to achieve the things that you want to at the end of the day. Number 3, you're not producing more than you're investing. This is so important because if you actually take time to refuel and you're going after a project being refueled, you're going to actually produce more results than what you put into it. But if you put a massive amount of energy into something and it's not producing more than what you're putting into it, chances are you are overworked. You're not working smart and as efficiently as you could, and it's usually because you're burnt out and you need to take some time to rest or you're doing too much. So I'm going to talk also today about outsourcing at the end of this video, and I have something for you today that will really help take some of the load off. I think that as entrepreneurs, we are horrible at delegating because why? Nobody else can do it as good as we can, right? If you're a perfectionist and you want things done just right and on a certain schedule and all this kind of stuff, it's really hard to delegate. You get something back and you're like, oh, this is not what I wanted. But we have to realize that we're not just out there creating these businesses to become rich and all this sort of stuff. We're actually growing people that are around us, giving other people opportunities. So think of it as that. Think of it as investing in growing others up, and allowing them to be all that they can be. Number 4, you're not having fun. Why'd you become an entrepreneur in the beginning? Why? Because it's fun. You enjoy what you do. You love to work. If you're not loving to work anymore and it's a drag and you're procrastinating and you just can't stand to walk into the office, well, guess what? You need to take a break. You need to go out and do something really fun. Something that has nothing to do with work. Just something frivolous that at the end of the day, you could think of it as a waste of time. Remember to have fun. Remember to do those things to socialize and have fun with people and not always be networking. I met an entrepreneur, a few weeks ago, and he's like, I'm always networking, always. And it's like, at the end of the day, that's great, but you have to kind of relax once in a while and just have fun. Just enjoy your life. Number 6, you're unfocused because you've taken on too much. Now, I'm queen of this. I have done this so much, guys. I have the grand vision, all the things I want to do. And in the scheme of things, there's only a certain portion of myself to do them all in. Now, here's the reality, is can you work massive hours? Can you survive doing that? Sure, but you might kill yourself in the process. Your health might go on the back burner. Your relationships will go on the back burner. You're not going to produce the life you want long term. You have to think of it as something you're going after long term. Even if you're only able to put a certain amount of snail's pace into your business, long term it's going to succeed. It's not about becoming an overnight wonder. It's about keeping that success up. And if you are in a schedule that you can't keep up and you're always going to be struggling and something's always going to be suffering, that's not realistic for the long term. Create a long-term doable process and business that you can actually sustain for the long term. If you've taken on too much, it's time to delegate, or it's time to remove those things that you want to do and that might be even really good ideas to focus on the things that are better for you right now. You know, when I started this organization, because I had a podcast in my previous organization, I thought, well, I'm going to start a podcast. Well, I started it, and then I realized I had too much on my plate. I'm writing a book. I'm creating courses. I'm coaching people on Fridays. I don't have time to do an additional podcast right now. Maybe I will in the future. But there's those things that are great ideas. They're great tools. But the reality is you've got to choose the best tools. Number 7, you haven't seen the sunlight in 18 hours. Now, I know, I've been there. You're working, and when you get up in the morning, it's dark. And when you go to bed at night, it's dark. And you haven't seen the sunlight. You haven't taken a break. I'm queen of this. I rarely take a lunch break. And I have to almost force myself to do that because I love working. But the reality is that it actually is proven that if we take a lunch break, if we take some time in our day to step away from the computer, step away from doing all the stuff, we're more productive. So if you're like me and you tend not to take breaks, make sure you do that. If you get up and you're going to go get some coffee, walk outside and get coffee. Take those, 5 extra minutes to just walk someplace and get the coffee. And, go down to the coffee shop or, take your car down there or whatever. Make sure that you get out. See the sunshine. Look at the trees, the birds, the wind in the bushes. Remember that this life is to be lived and you're never going to get today back. And so if you don't take time to smell the roses every once in a while, then it's all going to be for naught. Your life is just going to be all about the work. So, as a summary, remember, schedule free time at least once a week. Make sure you do something frivolous. Go out and just have some fun with some friends one time a week. Make sure you invest in your family and your friends. Set goals for all areas of your life. Make sure that you live a balanced life and it's not just about your work. Rest when you're unproductive. Take that time out. Give yourself license to take a break. There's a big difference between somebody that doesn't work at all and somebody that works too much. Being a workaholic is not a badge that you should be wearing. The reality is that I've worked in industries where it's required of you that you work 7 days a week, that you work massive hours, and I've seen people die because of it. I've actually compromised my health in that process. And I see a lot of people promoting that. I understand if you're in that industry and you're competing with others and it's all about how many hours you're putting in. But the reality is for most entrepreneurs, all you have to do is put focused and efficient time in. It's not about how many hours you're putting in. It's about your productivity. And at the end of the day, who wants to work for somebody that's miserable, that doesn't have a balance in their life, that just everything's about the bottom line? You've got to have a balance, and you've got to take time to invest in the things that are important in life. And then you're going to be successful. And you're not going to be so driven that you don't have time for your family. And, you get older and you realize that you never spent time with your family. I know that some people that are from the younger generation, you're not thinking of that. But the reality is that we don't have everybody around us forever. And you have to make time for the people that you love in your life. So, I'm challenging you this week to actually invest in other areas of your life. give yourself some permission to take some time off. Make sure that you have a balanced life. And remember to put your loved ones before your work, because money doesn't solve anything. And if you gain the world, if you were the richest person in the world, but you didn't have the relationships, you're going to be a very empty person. Well, before I go, I want to mention one other thing. For those of you that really are struggling right now and you really are overworked, I'm going to give you a special download that you can get at the link below in the notes of this video that will actually give you a list of all the different companies that I recommend to help you outsource. There's things like marketing outsourcing and people that will write copy for you. A lot of times we focus so much on social media. There's people that will do that for you. And so I want to provide all of this to you where I've found the best assistance and that sort of thing that can really help you to take your business to the next level. So I hope this video helped you this week, and I hope that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I love you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.